One of the advantages to being an independent movie studio is you move faster. You can stay ahead of the big boys. And Troma has also, from the beginning, been very, very interactive with our fans. We are probably the main reason we're still around is that our fans are very loyal to us. We are probably the most powerful cult film studio in history. And it's all thanks to our fans. They tell us what to do. Our fans are the ones who told us about video cassettes, and we actually got into that business ahead of the crowd. Our fans were the ones that told us to go into DVD. I had a lot of VD, of course, and so it was not a big job to change the stationery. Just had to put another letter on it, DVD. And we were making DVDs. I loved it when I discovered it because the quality is beautiful, and you can put all the extras on it and the bonuses, and you could give the actors a chance to speak their minds about what it'd be like to working on a movie directed by Lloyd Kaufman. And so we were ahead of the studios for a couple of years, and we actually made a fair amount of money because we took a risk. But our fans told us that. And then the studios saw we were having success, and then they copy us. Obviously the studios copy us. They're constantly calling us. Their casting departments are constantly calling up Troma and who are the new people you're using, because they're afraid to take a risk on somebody. They don't want to get fired. So they'll use the Troma star. They'll use whoever we're starring because they can say to their boss, hey, this guy starred in the new Troma movie. So even if the movie sucks, at least they covered their ass because it's in the, it's the Troma actor. They don't have to go out and actually make a decision on who's good or who's bad, because most of the mainstream people don't know art when they see it. They don't know talent when they see it. They just have to go by what their bosses tell them or try to copy people and blob along. Certainly if you talk to Quentin Tarantino, he's a big Troma fan. Peter Jackson. If you go to France, Gaspar Noé, who is major. The guys who did Haute Tension, they love Troma. Takashi Miike in Japan. I think Troma's reach is huge. Our influence over the world of independent art is enormous, and certainly a lot of today's young, hot, mainstream directors, James Gunn, Eli Roth, Tarantino, a lot of them are all heavily influenced by Troma and pay tribute to Troma in their films. And then you have a lot of mediocre ones and a lot of Hollywood studios that just, we make The Toxic Avenger and they go out and make, they're all making Scream now and Scary Movie. The problem is that the stuff is shite because they don't have any substance. They're spending $100 million on trying to kind of copy Troma style, but they don't have any political or sociological. They're not trying to be subversive. They're not trying to change the world. They're just trying to give people, something they can sit on the couch and eat Doritos and get a few laughs. And every once in a while, they get it right. Kingpins was an amazing movie. That was great. That was hilarious. How many critics have said that Something About Mary is basically, whoever made that movie clearly watched a lot of Troma movies, and indeed that is correct. But we call ourselves movies of the future. Indeed, we are movies of the future. If you go back and look at the films that we were making in the 70s, so many critics have talked about today's movies in the year 2006 that clearly are basically big-time Troma movies. And what the hell? As long as they're good, I don't care. But unfortunately, most of what the mainstream is producing is just absolute garbage. Troma is trying to bring true art to the people, give art back to the people. That's the slogan of the Troma Dance Film Festival, really, because we feel that the Sundance Film Festival, which is supposed to be independent, has really stolen the word independence and is using it to apply to divisions of these giant conglomerates. And Troma Dance Film Festival takes place at the same time and in the same place as Sundance as sort of a conscience of the film community. And I have nothing to do with selecting the movies that are in the Troma Dance Film Festival, so it's a very eclectic festival and really wonderful, warm and loving. And so that's one of the ways we try to encourage independent cinema, by giving an outlet to independent filmmakers in the heart of Sundance, where all the media is, where all the big-time executives are. We bring a load of independent filmmakers who are living in the Troma condominium in Park City, Utah. They're sleeping on the floor, and they're all volunteers, and they are there in the center of where all the movie people are in all the media, and they get to meet these people. And their movies are shown in Troma Dance Festival, so that the major media, once they've seen the 2 or 3 big-time celebrities, that once they've done their thing with Jennifer Aniston or whoever, then what are they going to do? They're bored, so they go in to see Troma Dance films, which are great. And these young kids get to, have their name in the paper and get their movies reviewed in Variety, which wouldn't normally cover them. And then we do the same thing at the Cannes Film Festival. Bloodspit, an Australian movie that we distribute. That movie was reviewed at Cannes. We rented a theater. We showed the movie. Duke, the director, came out from Australia there, and his movie, which was, I think, made for a total budget of 1,000 Australian dollars, was reviewed in Variety. The same issue, I think, that Da Vinci Code was reviewed. And I believe Bloodspit got a better review. I think it's very important to keep independent art alive, because that is what creates emotion, true emotion. When you go to a museum, what are you looking at? You're looking at the heart and soul of various pathfinders, various creative geniuses. And how do we live? How do we call ourselves civilized human beings? How can we differentiate ourselves from the beasts in the woods, except by virtue of art? I mean, language is a form of art. Language comes out of art. The first cavemen expressed themselves with pictures. I don't think they had a language. They grunted and drew graffiti on the walls of their caves, and urinated in the snow and made little happy faces with urine. Art has to come from the soul, and that is it's the fuel on which civilization is built. Science is extremely important, but art really is where science is descended from. All of mankind's advancement in the world, in my opinion, comes from art. The technological science, when you look at the laws of physics and the beautiful Einstein equations, I mean, they're art, and as we all know, the great scientists are very often concert pianists, or painters, or philosophers, or poets, and there's no question that art and science are very much interrelated, not to mention the fact that true emotion is what really creates all great advancements of man and woman and gyno-kind. We don't say woman in Tromaville, as you know, which is because woman has the word man in it, and we don't say girl. Girl is politically incorrect. We say gyno, so gyno-Aussie would be okay, gyno-American, gyno-Brit, but we are very politically correct at Troma. You may notice that there are quite a number of gynos in our movies with small clothing. Some people think that's exploitation. No, it's a political statement. The small clothing is on the Tromettes is a symbol of the shortage of natural resources. Rabid Grannies was an amazing movie about the mistreatment of old people and the national health care, and Nymphoid Barbarian and Dinosaur Hell, of course, as everybody knows, was a great treatise on cruelty to animals. And The Toxic Avenger, well, the environment. Poultrygeist is a finger in the eye of the fast food industry. So in a way, art very much, at least the way I see it, deals with trying to change the world, give people true emotion, and make the world a better place.